Okay. Testing, ready to roll. Yep. Testing. Heads up, eyes open, the fist clench.
You ready?
Ready, like to load it. Yes, sir. Oh man, move slacking. Studio phone.
You live.
I'm live, y'all. Y'all bear with me. Man. Y'all bear with me.
Tell them stay tuned.
Stay tuned, y'all. Bear with us 2 seconds. Gotta get the blog talk in, man. Moving too fast. So excited to get to y'all. Moving so fast. All right, just bear with us. When we say Cub, free them on. Okay, right on. Got the coffee. I'm ready to go. I'm moving straight in. So y'all just got y'all a preview real quick. Y'all coming in early. Y'all, everybody know we coming. I see New Orleans, well, not New Orleans, but Monroe, Louisiana in the building. In fact, got some calls coming in from New Orleans down there.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio.
Yes, indeed.
You are now in the host queue.
Come on, bring us in. Let's make history, take history, and tape history, y'all. Live and direct.
Live and direct.
Free them all. So you right. All right, y'all. Okay, heads up, eyes open, the fist clench. Y'all know who this is, how we do this. Welcome to another episode of Free 'em All Radio, hosted by yours truly, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and Robert Allen, a.k.a. The Lady of Rage. Let's get locked and loaded to make history, take history, and tape history, y'all. Call in number 929-477-3785. Again, 929-477-3785, and then press 1 to get in with us, y'all. Again, let's make history, take history, and tape history, y'all. We go straight on in it. Man, moving and grooving. Topics today, what we talking about here, man? Give y'all a few seconds to come on in. I see y'all. Matter of fact, as we say, Cub on in with us. I was moving so fast, I had negated to do the call in, the blog to radio, y'all. But we here. Oh man, what's going on? We're gonna be looking for some calls coming in from the Louisiana chapter of the Black Panther Party, cause New Orleans in particular, New Orleans branch. Updates in regards to our leadership, and Coordinator Choi, comrade who did 18 years in Angola, who's been on the ground. Paul's that man, 10 toes down. He has paws on the ground. I mean, everything from a hurricane, before Hurricane America, addressing the business, you know what I'm saying, serving the people down there. He came and saw about the people out, so we got to go by and see about him. Let that background noise go. It's a battle. He's in a battle to save his home, so we're gonna be touching down on that. Maybe get some calls in from Seattle again. Some other forces. What's happening with the crypto? You know what I'm saying? And, NFTs, all that. You know what I'm saying? We send some calls, touch down on that. I think they say 4 or 5 people mysteriously died, quote unquote died, in regards to that. And I'm still trying to get hip to in regards to the crypto. You know, NFTs, so on and so forth. You know, so y'all feel free. So we're gonna see Brother Gary call in. Ant with Savage Fam might have some updates for us, and as was Comrade Conus and others. So look for that. What else we got on the map? What state was it? 77-year-old lady. 70, again, we repeat that, 77-year-old sister, the victim of the no-knock. When we said no-knock, infamous no-knock, this is what we've seen in so many cases, where the police just come through and do what they do, through the doors, you dig? Doors, windows, what have you. And we hear that, you know, a lot of us, you know, we automatically think about, you know, someone, I guess, if y'all can't post a number, for get a new viewer on, ask for the number. So we should post a number for us. We want to talk about the infamous no-knock. You hear that? I know automatically, you know, we cannot negate December the 4th, 1969, approximately 4:35 a.m. in the morning. In fact, I was just commenting the other day. Mother Comrade had brought it to my attention a few years back, how she automatically wakes up approximately about 4:30 in the morning, and I thought it was just me on December the 4th, but the deal is, I mean, quite some time myself also around this time, and the correlation with that being that the infamous the massacre on Monroe, in which the federal government via the Chicago Police Department and other law enforcement agencies. I say other law enforcement agencies because a lot of people don't talk about the fact that it was also pointed out that one of the ones who came on the raid was actually had direct CIA, Central Intelligence Agency connections. And they came through 2337 West Monroe, which we refer to as Chairman Fred Hampton Way. It was approximately 4:30 in the morning on the west side of Chicago, and the impact of that. And later on, they talk about I know I'm saying the term wrong, but epidemics, like even the impact that children have, before they're born, you know what I'm saying, just even DNA being passed down, the impact of, how it impacts you. And my mother to be was 8.5 months pregnant, carrying me at the time. And unbeknownst to me, like I said, I never, made the connection about me, getting up, and neither did she, approximately 4:30 in the morning. And out of my times, and I want to acknowledge that in an objective way, similar to like, when I say the U.S. government assassinated Chairman Fred, as opposed to saying the police killed my daddy, it's not to be stoic or disconnected or cold, but to put in them. Objective way, the people can relate to it, that the reality is that this system successfully or attempts to kill all of our fathers and mothers in one way or another by shooting them down, punking them out, locking them up, hanging them, stringing them out on drugs, what have you. And similar to like when Pac did Dear Mama, even though there was certain particulars that people can waver from, so my mother didn't do crack, so, but there was a generality that people can relate to. And that's what we attempt to do, because a lot of people, have a majority of people have a reactionary assessment. In fact, Lakeith Stanfield, who portrayed William O'Neill in the movie Judas and Black Messiah, said that what he came to learn is that there are more people who are more William O'Neill-esque than there are those who are Chairman Fred-esque. And I'm going to take the liberty to say, I don't think, not necessarily in saying that they actually will be agent provocateurs, but, not that constant, they're more of, being subjective. In this system, it rewards that, it encourages that, and it's something to still have an objective, an overview, an analysis of taking, not just from your point of view. And I thirst for that, not, and I'm not I was preaching from some sort of moral high ground, but that, to be information taken in objectively, you get more of it, as opposed to like a lot of times people they learn, they get information like in cliff notes, or when it just happens to them, as something impacts them, and that's something that can be taken, but however you still miss something, But again, in many cases, that's what a lot of people can relate to, opening up. Their pores are open. And we're gonna talk about that. Even how we assess, who we are. In a reactionary way. So, in other words, this person just happens to be this way, whether it be an astrological sign assessment or what have you, but not taking into account the circumstances, the conditions, your lineage, all these different dynamics, something that even the ruling class, the colonialists, the slave masters, they take into account when they colonize a community, when they attacking the community, different dynamics, what part of the country you are, which, when they kidnapped us from Africa, who would be sent to the cotton fields as opposed to who would be sent to the tobacco fields in Virginia, so on and so forth. So we're gonna be talking about that. Also, the prisoner swap. I can't recall the convicted arms dealer who was who Russia. The U.S. Russia, Brittney Greiner, who had been held approximately 10 months, in which they Russia had her on a case. They said she supposed to have some oil in the weed vape pen, and the prisoner swapping. Some people may be just not familiar with this term, a prisoner swap, but this is something that there was a common discussion being held during the political climate of the 1960s. Where the terms like political prisoners, prisoner swap, and the contradictions were heightened to the point that people were very clear that even the dynamic of prisoners was not just limited to a legality constitution, but it's political. So you was able to even talk about, like, to be in a position of power or fighting to maintain power, or to at least be acknowledged that you have a political prisoner, and that it's not a question of what this person was it what their case was, was it wrong, immoral, what have you, but then, being able to say, okay, we have captured, this country or this entity has an individual, and we can exchange them, and that's what you've seen just recently, and there's a lot of discussion about the former Navy, I can't recall his name, U.S. Naval, maybe an officer, soldier. They're talking about, the question about his, pending, or discussion about, what's the status about him, being returned from Russia prison. So let's make sure I ran everything down, because I'm running from memory. We're gonna talk. So feel free to call in. As we say, Cub being with us at 929-477-3785 and press 1 to be heard. So we're talking about what is the no knock law. In fact, that was a song we had did. If Gil Scott Heron. Put up the poem Gil Scott Heron did, a poem entitled "The No Knock," in which he acknowledges, he talks about December the 4th, and you have to question when there's certain things that like you hear, saying, like, depending on respective community you come from, even if you say, like, certain terms you hear that you automatically relate to, like whether it be like you hear certain words, you say, okay, that's how we reference that, that's like you hear term, like people say the term boss, saying different communities it impacts us, it's taken a different way. The no knock law, those in particular the black community in particular, saying never, that December the 4th, 1969, it sticks out. In fact, go look at the old Gil Scott Heron poem, You can tell a lot from a person, their perspective when they hear certain terms, what their first response is, how they respond, who they respond to, and who they relate to. Language is even political. Again, language is political. All right, so with that being said, y'all, come on in, or come on in with us at 929-477-3785 and press 1 to be heard. That's what it is. So, Conrad, do we have any callers in queue?
Real Brother Chairman. We have Sister Mashada.
Fremont, welcome to Fremont Radio.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm well. Well, and you? How are you?
Hello? Good, thank you. I'm calling from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, right on. Welcome to Fremont Radio. First time caller?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, well, welcome. This is a weekly broadcast, a weekly program of Black Panther Party Cubs. We welcome you here. We encourage you to stick with us on Wednesdays, 6:30, 8:30 Central Time. What's on your mind? What's going on, sis?
Well, I wanted to basically shed light on what's happening in our schools around this country. Because what's going on is really not isolated incidences. Here, a young gentleman, I forgot his first name, but it's Mr. Harris. He graduated last year, and he went back to his high school and basically shot up students and killed 2. And that speaks a lot for somebody who graduated and came back. And the student body saying they heard someone in the hall saying they hate your school. And it is imperative that we understand, I'm sure you know, the enemy inside our schools is wreaking havoc. And our babies are leaving our schools, bringing it right into the community. And, and as you was just talking about the language,
yes,
they got total control of the language. And this is why we're seeing our children look unfamiliar and talk unfamiliar, because predominantly white teachers are inside of our schools in America. So I'm wondering, what can we do to save not only our children but our culture.
I negated to mention earlier, that's on that flyer also. For those who just tuning in with us, our sister, say your name again for me if you can.
My name's Marshana Carradine.
Marshana Carradine is calling in from St. Louis. And there was a case, I believe in October of 20, was it this year or this last 2021?
Yeah, it was this year.
October of this year. And I can't recall the young man's name either. I can't think of it. But a case in which, just reiterate what she was just pointing out. This is a high school?
Yes, sir. It was a visual performing arts school.
Okay. A visual performing high. What age range were the students we talking about?
Well, a teacher was killed and a young student. I don't know what grade she was in, but I'm sure it goes from 9th to 12th.
9th through 12th. Okay.
9th to 12th grade.
That's out of curiosity. Okay, you in St. Okay, that school was actually in St. Louis, right? St. Louis, Missouri, correct?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I wish I could have got this fly. I mean, this heads up to oh man, I can't. Our brother, oh man, oh forgive me for getting his name. I can't move too fast. His son was killed in Minnesota. I can't believe I'm forgetting his brother's name right now. In the school shooting, I can't believe I'm forgetting his brother's name. I ain't gonna forgive. I'm not gonna forgive myself for this. I'm moving too fast. We just did a speaking tour together. I don't believe this. It'll come to me 1 minute. I'm moving too fast. And it was. It'll come to me 1 minute. But this is a common occurrence. You know that I mean, sad to say, it's a common occurrence, and the deal is that we based here in Chicago. That's where I'm based at. But it used to be, a situation when you hear about it, just like even you hear about the school shootings, you automatically thought, the different rural areas with the white children, so on and so forth. But the deal is, whether we're talking about schools or different isolated areas or even the jails, these are microcosm or locations that in one way or another reflect what's the general status of the country and if not the world. And just on top of my head, I just want make sure come in with the conversation. I put a post up earlier today, and I know a lot of people say, well, everything starts in the home. It's not, it's not. You can't blame the school system, so on and so forth. But no one, adults, and in particular children, no one, can leave, unimpacted, not impacted by what we talking the music, what we talking about, the video games, what have you. And I'm paraphrasing this quote I put up earlier. I said, does it seem strange to people that the top Netflix movies they have are Strange Things, Wednesday, and Dahmer, in regards to Jeffrey Dahmer. And I said even and you look at the top pop artists with the music, Tashaki 6ix9ine, this young lady Bad Barbie. Google, a lot of people, even my age, probably not even hip to some of the people I'm saying, but you might want to Google them to see to really get a feeling of what I'm talking about. Lil Nas X, the movies. The movies. There was something else I mentioned in there too. Not even the gate. The type. The top. Like even I said I grew up in an era where like Good Times TV show Good Times was popular, but now the Kardashians and was it Chrisean Rock and Blueface and I forget the name of this Love, Madly in Love or something to that effect. This is the popular propaganda that is not only that being fair to people in general, but the youth in particular. And so I just want to start off with that. You can't. I mean, the propaganda alone, you can never negate or disconnect. The sentiments of a community from that propaganda. In fact, even on the flip side, such people as Commandante Ernesto Che Guevara, he said in regards to even the revolution, he said the role of the propagandist can be as important as that of the guerrilla. So, like in the Panther Party, they made it a point, like even what type of pictures we drew, what type of pictures they drew, what dynamic, how it impacted the minds and hearts of the people. These video games, Grand Theft Auto, you can watch these videos. They literally take you through scenes in streets of Chicago, carjackings. Like detail. You know what I'm saying? You can go virtual reality, like even the simulation, like people actually engaged in sexual activity on these video games. And these are different dynamics that got to be included in our conversation, that we cannot, just disconnect into some sort of just whatever, with my children, so they're not going to be impacted by that. Like you look back, even when they had the Lucille Ball TV shows, Rick Ricardo, Lucille Ball, it impacted the people in places like Guatemala and Mexico. Like, it sold this American dream where people it encouraged them to go through tunnels and to make it to America to get to live out the Lucille Ball dream. So propaganda, all that has to be, that alone. That's when we start talking about, the type of chemical biological warfare. In other words, the Percocet, the type of drugs and that have been flooded through the community, and like even the coded messages. That the movies and stuff that many of us, include myself, are not even hip to. Like I tell people, like even like stuff that we may come in, we may just they just show one TV show in a coded language that was in there that children were picking up on certain messages, and you tell the machine like even this recent discussion about the clothing, the fashion designer. I know I'm saying his name wrong, but Balagisio, I'm saying the name wrong. And I would, how many black people would talk about this before, and I didn't pay no attention to it, and it was a big thing. It was a status symbol within our community, and cats I know, $1,000 shoes. You know what I'm saying? And I know somebody says it's not a big thing, but this was. You got people who never heard who never heard of Lil Bobby Hutton, but know who but know who Lil Bobby Gishio, know who that is, and don't know who it is, but know the how much the clothes and the shoes, and how you'll be surprised how common it is. How common it is in our community, and now you get some information because it's these are reactionary times. They just had a big exposure where they had a lot of the clothing. They had when their arrogance. And which may have been doing quite some time. Like people had missed it, or probably before, where they had these the stuffed animals, these dominatrix, garments, tied to these teddy bears and these little children, modeling this, and this wasn't like on some secret porn site. This was out in the public, and some people may say, well, my child doesn't wear that, so they're not. And again, back to what I said earlier about subjectivity. But there's a case in Minnesota a week and a half ago where this is a child, a 16 or 17-year-old child had murdered another child for one Balagisio shoe. So it wasn't about needing some shoes. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing was the status symbol, for one shoe. And we really got to get hip to the climb and the impact and the power of propaganda, what have you. And back to what I was saying about the coded language, there was on SUV shows one time. And there was an episode in which they had locked up this one guy who was engaged in pedophilia. And they had made a deal with him. I said, okay, listen, the deal was, okay, you take us back to the hornet's nest. You take us back, you know what I'm saying, and get the network of pedophiles, and they had took him to one place. And they took him to one place, and he had showed him. They had him having a conversation with a child, and from the naive eye or the innocent eye, outside looking in, I think it was something as simple as, you want 1 scoop or 2 scoops of ice cream. That seemed, non-threatening. It was a whole conversation that this individual was having with this child. About sexual activity, everything. And he translated it, but he was a communicating. He was able to communicate this to a child. It's kind of like, in a more non-detrimental way. I'm to give you an example. That people make jokes about like how women can communicate with each other. You know what I'm saying? A man can be right there, and vice versa, and not catch on what's going on. And so we had to look at the school shootings. We have to look at the propaganda. We look at the music, and we have to look at everything as political, and that there's a war being waged on us. And I'm not saying some sort of abstract, just bad forces. There's concrete, tangible. Like when the Black Panther Party said we fight for the hearts and minds of the masses, that wasn't just some catchy catchphrase. You know what I'm saying? Because the deal is, this system, it's like, man, like the Walking Dead. Right now, households. I don't know if you've seen the case. I don't know if you've seen the case. Was it last week? Last week in Milwaukee, when the 10-year-old child. You see that case? One of his mother bought him some sort of like a virtual reality headset or a game. Did you hear about that?
No, sir.
Check this case out of Milwaukee. This cat about 10 years old. I repeat, 10 years old. He literally asked his mother to get some device, some new, you know what I'm saying? And when she told no, he got the gun and shot her in the face. Shot her in the face. Not the end of the story. Not the end of the story. After he shot her in the face, he proceeded to go, and what he did is he took her information. He ordered the piece that he wanted. You know what I'm saying? He actually ordered the piece himself. I'm up in age. I still have to get somebody to send all this stuff about order, Amazon, and all that. I'm still not hip to all the different dynamics. You follow what I'm saying? So we dealing with a whole different, you know what I'm saying? Cats who grasp technology. You know what I'm saying? Without any, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at these babies and they can pick up the phones and all that. You know what I'm saying? And we laugh about it because it's a joke. How they can run down and so Instagram. And negating the impact. You know what I'm saying? No footing, no basis, no human contact. And this is their first, first contact with human beings, so on and so forth. We was having an event a few days ago, and I'm literally going down Instagram and social media, and I turned it on, and it went from a piece about who caught the biggest fish to I turned the next piece up and I get the volume up. It went to a whole discussion about oral sex, and it's children right there. I said, damn, as opposed to we coming in, it's a certain cable box, it's a certain time, what certain shows come on, the music, certain coded words they say. These youngsters are being bombarded. Before 7 in the morning, kill somebody, kill yourself. Look at this. I was doing some research on this young white girl, a Bad Barbie. That's her name, BHAAD Barbie. Barbie. She's on Dr. Phil's show. Go check out the video. And I'm upset too because at the end of the video it's her and Kodak Black. They got DMX face in like he's in the video. This a legend. DMX, you know what I'm saying? I'm salty when I see this, but it's a video. Doing the murder. I'm like, and you like, well, maybe it's Halloween. It's murder, kill. So the deal is like, it's bombarded with this. You know what I'm saying? We had to put that in the context of that conversation. We live in the record on Freedom On Radio. Y'all call in with us at 929-477-3785. Press 1. Make sure y'all touch down Sister Dorothy Holmes. Today, happy birthday, Ronald Ronnie Man Johnson, 530 King Drive, Murder by Chicago Police Department. The annual toy drive, which we've been on ground, send Black Panther Party Cubs, being consistent with them. Today they go 64th and Cottage Grove. No, not Cottage Grove. Right off Woodlawn. Forgive me, the Torture Center. Just for Ronnie Man, just for Nicholas Lee, Cassandra Green, and others. They're over there with still the toy drive and still putting out the call. for the annual toy drive, and we want to direct people there because the Black Panther Party Club, we can like octopus too. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be every different place. I flashed back and we had the big van. We used to ride around the toys. You know what I'm saying? And just throw them in different houses, and don't go at no Christmas thing, but just hit different cats. You know what I'm saying? With the toys. You know what I'm saying? And flipping the script on it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, also. Let me say this. Stick with me, sister. As we say, cub with us. Also, we're gonna be getting up into some different youth institutions to take them some stuff. We're gonna need some donations, y'all. T-shirts, jammers, stuff that you would take for granted. These youngsters got in these juvenile detention centers. So we're gonna stay in contact with us. We in coalition with the Just for Nicholas Lee campaign and some others. With this going to visit these youngsters with this here, and also, some zoom zooms and wham whams for those who don't know what that means, who ain't been locked up. That's a chips and the cookies. I know they ain't healthy. All that. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But we're gonna be getting that just a lot of these youngsters too, though. In the juvenile detention centers, working on that. So we're gonna put a drop of. If y'all gonna contact us now, the Hampton House, we'll get some other drop-off spots too, though, to drop this stuff to them. And something else. Oh, also, we know we had the soap drive for the brothers in Stateville who had no soap. We got word from Logan, the women also, no soap, soap and water. So we in a dilemma, so we back and forth. So position was, okay, well, the organization, we got, had to sit down, touch down with Just for Nicholas Lee, and other organizations working with us, but also in particular the prisoners. And I want y'all to hear this. What happened? I want y'all to hear this real good. I want y'all to hear this real good. I want y'all to run tell this. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I want y'all to relay this information. I want you, heighten this, help us heighten the contradiction. I want people to be clear. Now, we had a contradiction where the men in Stateville, they have no soap. That's when we initially put the call out. When we put the call out, unbeknownst to us, the women in Logan have no soap. Soap. So we got the donation for initial drop-off for the soap, which is initially for the men. So I know a lot of people say, well, we don't like to distinguish this and that, but the deal is, so we touched down and we said, we initially said divide the soap. A lot of them brothers, the men in Stateville say, hold on, we're going to yield. In regards, man, the majority, at least at minimum, the majority of the soap go to the women. Now, put that, you were talking about examples of, so, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're talking about, man. So make sure that's put out there, you know what I'm saying? So, because you can't take into account different dynamics, you know what I'm saying? And think about, like even some of them, some slavery movies, you know what I'm saying? Well, like, you know what I'm saying? Little piece of food, you break it off, you know what I'm saying? Who gets what, you know what I'm saying? And that, you know what I'm saying? And in these conditions, man, you know what I'm saying? And we not, and this has no subjective statement, like even, our Senator, the women, you know what I'm saying? Man, so make sure the majority of that soap get to the women inside the camp. So that's something to note. That's something that we should be, stick your chests out about the cat, you know what I'm saying? Those behind the walls. You know, so men and women alike, the position that they're taking. We live in the record Freedom on Radio, 929-477-3785. Press 1 to get in. And maybe this can help, right, okay, where we at? 95% of those are black men, okay, that's we pointing out too, no doubt about it. And this should, maybe take that example, because I know, because a lot of times we come in, majority of us, it's a deficit, you know what I'm saying? Because our communities are destabilized, it's an imbalance, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, you have reactionary rhetoric, like people say, well, I'm the mother and the father, you know what I'm saying? And the reality is you can't do that with animals. You cannot run that logic to animals. If you sell them the dog, and they come and say, let me see the sire, let me see the dog, the mother and the father, and you say, no, she's the mother and the father. The dog body walking out the room. You know what I'm saying? Because the balance of that. You know what I'm saying? In some communities, see, the old folks down south, they was on to something. We just took it, they would say something like, man, let me meet the family. Bring the family. Who is it? You such and such, you one of them Johnson boys? And we just took it they just took, oh, you want to come meet the family. No. You need to see what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Where this come from? And even if you don't get to see it tangible, even some like it's important. Even some of your membranes of men and women doing something. That's why, like, even the party, they be trying to get in the system, the ruling class try to give you these absolutes. You know, so either this or that. It was a balance. It was a balance. Because you best believe this slave catcher, they may put a little pressure here today, a little pressure here today, but it's a war on all of us. You know what I'm saying? And when you're able to pull that off, you get that yeah, of course you have contradictions. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but get that balance to pull it off, phenomenal. We live in the record free on my radio, y'all. So y'all call in the club being with us. You know what I'm saying? 929-477-3785. Press 1. My sister, okay. I hope any follow up you want to give us? That we're talking about St. Louis, the school shooting, and what's the update on that? You know what I'm saying? So that's some of the political assessment I want to lay out that we got to take into account. We talking about the school shootings and anything else. Anything else you'd like to add?
Trying to encourage the young people to not to go inside school. If they took that power that they had at that moment and not go inside the school and really got laws changed, they could have. But that didn't work. So I'm thinking now they're back in school. I'm not really following them anymore. And, following the story anymore. But they're doing a number on our babies inside the schools, and the black teachers are heavy. It's a lot. These are not, like I said, isolated incidents. This is going on all over.
Rice. Cortez, my fault. I need to jump out like that. Cortez Rice. His son. That's what I was trying to think of in Minnesota. His son at school shooting. That's what. So Cortez, if you listening, tap in with us. Call in. Yeah. Okay. My fault. It just hit me out the blue right there. Okay. No. I agree. These are not, isolated incidents. It's not aberrant. It's the norm. You know what I'm saying? And it's the spilled over. You know what I'm saying? And it's it's something that we have to take into account. Let's know we start talking about the coronavirus and other dynamics. You know what I'm saying about being on lockdown. You imagine you have some children who their first, this has become common. This whole thing about being on Zoom, doing, you know what I'm saying, and even the social media, the lack of interaction with each other. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people they can't even relate with each other. It's like they have no social skills. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's, even I talked to a brother this morning. He was who I grew up with. And he was like, man, he's like commenting about the fist, like how it was important. He reminded me how important it was we saw each other, that we shook each other's hand, that we looked eye to eye contact. You know what I'm saying? And like even, how like a fight, like even the thought of something even escalating. Like say, your thought, it was not reinforced about killing somebody else. I'm talking about, the frame of reference to that. You feel what I'm saying? And even with the fist fights, you know what I'm saying? Not this hatred, you know what I'm saying? But it's so, it's so common, and you can, again, you bombarded with it. I encourage people, especially people not familiar with it. Go type in this bad bar. Go type in top 25 pop artists. Listen to watch the videos. We can't say on one hand that the Isley brothers was responsible for making a lot of babies. You know what I'm saying? No, they didn't go out there and tell you go to the hotel room. No, they didn't hook you and your grandmama and your grandfather up. But you cannot negate their aura, you know what I'm saying, the impact, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I tell you, like, you at a lounge. When you hear that term, last call for alcohol, that kind of triggers your sense of message to you. You listen to this stuff now, especially with these youngsters. They come with this no other frame of reference. And I'm watching this video, I'm like, man, this is, it's on. It's on. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta make the connection between the school, to the concentration camps, please do, sister.
Hello?
We here, sister. I said, please do.
All right.
Hello?
Okay, you mentioned something earlier. You mentioned earlier about basically the teachers and the schools. People say don't hold schools accountable. And when they say that, I remind them, we used to have Big Mama unable to read or write, but she took them youngins to the schoolhouse. So they don't get a pass for coming in and begging. They're supposed to literally teach. So our kids' intelligence is basically going out the window. Now you got teachers such as myself and others who are trying to save their souls because we're dealing with the racism inside the schools too.
I mean,
So it's like, you throwing up your hands, and these days we see everybody throwing up their hands on them. So we're going to have to rally around this as the entire community.
I'm with you, and we'll be. It's kind of like I tell a lot of my comrades, right, within our organization. Like I say, man, if I can get every like a car, like the cars I've had throughout my life, I said, I give me a car where everything work at the same time, transmission, spark plug, all that. And I tell a lot of comrades, I say, because we constantly dealing with different contradictions, right? I say, man, we can balance it out. And this is not what you, sister. I'm gonna say this though. But a lot of times in certain entities, cats recognize it's like an issue, a contradiction, like say with the race, the issues in the music industry, the issues in the school system. You know what I'm saying? Like even for example, I was listening to the WVOA radio this morning in Chicago, and it's a big thing about they have what they call a lottery with the fire department, and the history of the fire department, the history of the Chicago Police Department, the history of the school system, all at the rate, but the dynamic is, it's like it's known, the racism, who pulls the string, the connections, and there were a lot of information they were coming out, but the timing that a lot of people talking about it is they talking about to become a fireman or firewoman, how this rigged thing they call a lottery. Well, actually, it's a front, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the actual lottery had racism. How it was rigged. I don't know. A lot of people say, blew my dreams. But the reality is, when we talk about anything with cell phones, they study your last name down to what area code your phone is in. Or you talk about Uber, pizza delivery. Everything is political, and the race dynamic in this race is the top tool used by capitalism, in particular in this country, and. A lot of times, cats grab, we talking about the judicial system, and back to it's a consistency in all these contradictions. And the fire department, again, so it's all the connection, who they draft from. They use code words like the Catholic school. They know in Chicago in particular, who goes to the Catholic schools. You know what I'm saying? And you go back, you go to traffic court. You go look at some of the names. You're like, damn, that judge got the same last name the police that arrested me. You know what I'm saying? But it's reflective. It's reflective. Like I say, all politics is local, but you can literally connect, so we talking about even down to the drug game on the streets, the quote unquote illegal capitalist economy. Who's running the drug game in Chicago? It's not because of something, who's the best hustler, whatever. That nonsense they try to run down, even during the era of Bumpy Johnson. The mafioso, Luciano was not lucky. They call him lucky. He was not lucky. Luciano was an international snitch. He worked for the government. You know what I'm saying? In fact, on the international level, they utilized him when they was making their move on Mussolini. And the trickle-down impact down to the streets where a lot of black children came up thinking like, they stick together. They got what they call it, the code of Moreto, no snitching, so on and so forth, and they stick together. And this whole thing about J. Edgar Hoover, the former director of the FBI, he come at the mob. He denied the mafioso even existed. His career was birthed after attacking Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the UNIA. Let's not we start going to the assassination of Dr. King. Let's not the whole COINTELPRO attack on the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? And these dynamics, you are connected to the schools. What's taught in the school, what's not taught in the schools, and that way we can have a support base of the community. Like people, like a lot of times people, so we can have as we distinguish a war from a revolution. A war is just two occupying armies who suit up and boot up and get down to get down. A revolution, when you gain the minds and participation of the masses of the people. We look at certain communities. It's an aura. It's like a climate. When they, you know what I'm saying? Like, just hypothetically, could you imagine, like, you know what I'm saying, like in certain communities, like there's a disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? Certain things were not talked in certain about, you know what I'm saying, whether we're talking about the Holocaust in Nazi Germany, if it wasn't talked about in certain schools. Not only would it, the educations, the musicians, it would be an aura. Like, man, hold up, you know what I'm saying? It would be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So like we said, when we talking about the revolution, we seen in cases in Africa, we seen cases in Vietnam, like Ho Chi Minh and Gia. It wasn't just the Vietnamese. It wasn't it was the educators. They put they did what we call a proactive position. You know what I'm saying? Preemptive strikes. The connection to the what they taught. They, even though, I mean, of course they like not. We understand the teachers, the judges, everybody out. Your system really, it has you stranglehold. And certain times it gives you to put up the front, especially America, to put up the front that is like Malcolm said. Malcolm X has said that America's democracy isn't hypocrisy. America's democracy isn't hypocrisy. It's a front. It's a facade of freedom. And sometimes you have certain leeway to make certain moves. We got to keep on it all the time, dropping certain, you know, in our rap lyrics, in our school system, saying so when I tell these entertainers and rappers, you need to support, you need to support us, to the Black Panther Party Cubs, to the freedom fighters out there, because when the heat come down, it's coming. This is no one is safe. It's a big thing with these sports commentators, Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. Man, they sport commentators. He telling the dude who Skip Bayless, not even the athlete. The Shannon Sharp is telling, hey man, I done did 4 touch, I done did magic tricks, I done did backwards flips, I done did this and that. And Skip Bayless, I don't care what you done did. Still degrading them. Right. And so the deal is our best security is the people. You know what I'm saying? And we keep that connection. Even it's old axiom that goes, more work in peacetime, less work in wartime. More work in peacetime, less work in wartime. You know what I'm saying? In Chicago, they had this thing called Operation Civil Shovel. They had got the aldermen. They had paid them off for these bribes to dump this toxic waste in the black communities. And then when they got them, they came to vamp on them. Had these aldermen just had some connection to the community, the state couldn't get down on them. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, it's important that we always, it's second nature, that we all that never forget that connection to our community, that second nature, that whatever concessions we have, you know what I'm saying, to always have that base. You know what I'm saying? You saying the climate was a different type of hustler. You had Bumpy Johnson as opposed to Nicky Barnes. You had a different sort of school teacher. You know what I'm saying? That there was certain information that they, you know what I'm saying, that they knew what to say. I told this school, I was in this school named Winnie Mandela. In this school, these children, when I got there, they didn't know who Winnie Mandela was and didn't care. After I got through educating, and I said a little different, because it wasn't no regular school thing with me. To this day, I'm in a man. To this day, them children, to this day, it sticks in their minds and hearts, the relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's a man, they were Chairman Fred, the stuff that was laid down to them. You know what I'm saying? See, we got to put stains in the brains and marks in the heart. I'm going to say it again. Stains in the brains and marks in the heart. Something that, you know what I'm saying, that sticks with them. It's, you know what I'm saying, that sticks with them. And in other words, we can't get caught up with just the rote running down, the remote running down with the ruling class. They can get that from anywhere. You know what I'm saying? The deal, we have to be clear that something different. It's like I say, hey, sister, what was that McDonald's that we had got that Big Mac from? You like, huh? You like, what you mean? You know the one we got the Big Mac from. You like, what? I don't remember what particular McDonald's. Ain't nothing special about that. Where was that place at? Your grandmother, what she stayed when that meal she made us? That sticks with me. It had to be something. It's because she had to take a position. I'm not held to master's ingredients. I ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying, hold my fries a certain degree. I'm gonna do something different. So even our education, you know what I'm saying, we gotta lay it out to our people with our conversations. You know what I'm saying? It's something. Man, I tell you, I say in the 60s, there's a lot of different organizations. What make you think to this day the Black Panther Party sticks in the minds and hearts of the people? You know what I'm saying? The type of education. You know what I'm saying? The type of the healthcare. You know what I'm saying? They had in healthcare. You had Deputy Minister of Health, Doc Satchel. He had implemented a people's advocate. This person was responsible. They took into account that our community was colonized. They took into account the contradictions such as how our people are disrespected when they come to why we don't go to the hospitals. So we have to ask questions. Why our children don't like going to school? You know what I'm saying? And don't run down those old rundown rhetoric that, oh yeah, they just bad. So the Black Panther Party free breakfast program. A lot of people's like, well, they just had kids out. The Black Panther Party said, hold on, man. Dig. You don't take no rocket science to figure this out. Anybody that's going to school, you dig, that's hungry. It's hard to figure out, you know, since the divisions, the pronouns and adverbs. What do they do about it? Did they go to the same? They took a position. Wait a minute, we ain't got the technology to stay, guy. And we found this out. We 14 to 24 years old, if that. The Black Panther Party's got 14 to 24 years old. They said, man, what we gonna do about it? What they do? Implement the first free breakfast program. You know what I'm saying? And they moved on. They didn't get caught with no bureaucratic red tape. And the people was able to feel the difference. Google Lou Palmer. Lou Palmer was a journalist in Chicago. What got him and his wife George in English to support the Black Panther Party? The Black Panther Party heightened the contradictions. When they had the free medicals and the free clothes, Lou Palmer said they went down there and seen the police burn their donations up. When they seen the police tell the vice lords that they'd get them 16th Street, if the Black Panther Party came on the free medical on 16th Street, they heightened the contradictions. Well, they said, damn, Chairman Ferry next day get the vice working the free medical center. The devil disciples, the black disciples, working the free breakfast program. You see, you had a different definition of education. In fact, Lenin of the Russian Revolution said, it takes people 20 years to learn ordinary times, they learn in 2 years in revolutionary times. See, we know, I tell people I'm riding on fumes. And a lot of times people think, oh, it's all the same. We all are activists. We got to recognize our community, you know what I'm saying? And it's not no egotistical way or no arrogant way. We have to come through the door, recognize, man, we on timeline. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to, in our language, the way we do it, like a relationship. Like a relationship. You had to say, okay, you had to say, okay, wait a minute, do I come in just thinking, okay, this on the physical features, what's make this dynamic? You know what I'm saying? What make you unique? Our communities, our education. You know, in fact, that was a struggle within the Black Panther Party. A lot of people just came in to with the guns. Minister UEP News said we must even politicize the gun. What makes our gun different than the police's gun? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now I done lost my volume. I know I done lost my volume on this thing, on this Instagram. I'm gonna start putting up a sign. You know what I'm saying? Man, y'all, hey, did this here, man. Call in. The radio 929-477-3785. You're like, man, we grew up, you can catch Easter Sunday, you know where people was at, man. Can y'all, let me know if y'all can still hear me on Instagram. I probably lost my volume because when you call, I lose the volume on here. Let me know, somebody get on Instagram, let me know if you can still hear me. Okay, my sister, we might get some more calls in queue, but stick with us and roll with us, you know what I'm saying? Any more comments that I missed? No sound. I'll be there. Let me start this back over. I knew it. Once they call this, let me call them and start right back over. It's not you, sister. Freedom on radio. Okay, let me start this back over. So they call in, I lose my volume on my Instagram. Man, I tell people. Let me say this too. Man, this is a time. This my therapy. You know what I'm saying? Because again, politics, man. I'm scared when I be. I'm with people too back in Instagram. Okay. stick with us, sisters, and do us a favor. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if we can give us some updates on what's happening with the students. You know what I'm saying? We can encourage them. You know what I'm saying? Themselves to call in, let us know what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Updates on that, and connect the schools to the barber shops, the pool halls, to the computer labs, or you name it. Let's make them connections. Right on, sister. You there? Calling Q. Fremont, Sister Conrad, we still on? We still on?
Yeah, we still live on direct, Brother Jimmy.
Okay. We have call us in queue?
Yes, sir. We have Brother Michael Pearson in queue. Fremont.
Right on. Welcome to Fremont Radio.
Fremont, Chairman Fred, how you doing today?
Fremont, I'm well. How you feel?
Pretty good.
Talk to us. Welcome to Fremont Radio. What's on your mind? What's on your mind? What's on your heart? What's happening?
Tell me one time I am.
Say, okay, I'm with you. I am. Come on with it.
Missionary.
A revolutionary, right on. Okay, talk to me then. So you done seen Judas and the Black Messiah, or you done heard watch Chairman Fred, some documentaries. What's it? Talk to me. What's happening?
I've seen it. I've watched the movie 3 times actually in the past 2 days.
In the past 2 days, tell us who you are and how we met.
Yeah, so I reached out to.
Oh, my sister. Oh, my fault. It's Frederica Doon. I got to send my love and respect to you, man. Look, man, we love you right back. Right on. Yes, indeed. Y'all make sure y'all take Widow Minister Minister Dr. U.E.P. Newton, Dr. U.E.P. Newton Foundation. Just tapped in with us. Love and respect. Right on. Gotta get back to see you soon. Love and respect, my sister. Right on. Y'all make sure y'all check it out. The work we got down in Oakland, California. We ain't playing no games with them, y'all. It's official. The Dr. U.E.P. Newton Foundation Research Center is down. You know what I'm saying? We'll shout out Comrade Secretary, also Councilwoman Carol Pfeiffer, Field Marshal Tuareg, CRC, and the groundwork was on moving to make sure that legacy, man, it was protected, respected, and never neglected. Right on. Okay, young brother, say it again. Who are you? How did me and you meet? When did we meet?
Oh, good. Yeah, so I'm Brother Michael. I met because I'm a 5th-year senior at Illinois State University, and I never heard of the Black Panthers or Fred Hampton or Chairman Fred. Even though I lived 20 minutes from the Hampton House for like 8 years,
You lived 20 minutes from the Hampton House for 8 years, and you had never heard of Chairman Fred Hampton, the Black Panther Party. I just want to say that again. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, so I lived 20 minutes. I never heard anything like Black Panther Party, and I started thinking about it. And actually, you said it really well in an article I was reading about how when Jay-Z said he was killed or he died instead of assassinated, it was the same thing as saying Christopher Columbus discovered America. And it brought me to the realization that all these things are happening, but it's the government who's controlling the narrative, so not everyone's getting the real story. And I was baffled by that, especially because the fact of I lived 20 minutes away from Hampton House in a pretty diverse neighborhood and everything. I never once heard anything, so I found that really baffling. So I reached out to you because I wanted to do an interview with you so I get some information, so I could make like a little video. And you had told me about your podcast, so I really wanted to check it out because can I say I had a lot of similar thoughts and feelings about stuff in the movie and like stuff I've been hearing today. But I am not gonna lie. One thing I asked you in your interview was, what would you say to the next generation? Because I really feel there's a disconnect with my generation in this movement. That don't be afraid to rock the boat. But I can tell you right now, as a large black male, I've been pulled over twice for being black, and that fear in my body, I can't even describe in words. So it's like I feel all these things, and I want to help and do like other things, but it's like I'm afraid to rock that boat.
I appreciate your honesty, brother. Oh man, I appreciate your call. And let me say this, man. Man. Oh, no doubt. I'm just man. I see Frederica knew. She said, "Let's send my mother Conrad a cool. I love you. Happy belated birthday to both of y'all. We celebrated their birthday last year on Zoom. We gonna do it again in person. I wanna, and I'm not nitpicking. I'm not cutting at you, brother. I just wanna get some of them. I wanna lay out some of these details. You know what I'm saying? Because like the other day, you just missed IRD. That's December the 4th. A young sister had said at December the 4th that she had rode. She had rode with me about 2 years ago. She hadn't come back around me because she had seen the police surveillance on me, just riding. You know what I'm saying? Riding with me one day. And I said, I appreciate your honesty so much. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we try to say, well, I don't know what's going on, and, you know, but the reality is we have to be upfront about this. And a lot of times people come to us under certain, you know, when it's fashionable, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But we got to, you know, or the heat is that on them. And you had to do a school assignment, right? Correct? About Black history or something? I'm correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's I want to point it out. See, let's up the ante. In certain communities, for example, in Nazi Germany, it's considered child abuse if your child does not know about the gas chambers in the Holocaust in Nazi Germany. We have to up the ante. Another young sister said at the IRD event, after watching Judas and the Black Messiah, she grew up on the west side of Chicago. The west side of Chicago, the hotbed of resistance. I'm talking about this, the heat. I mean, it was on. She said she had grew up. She knew about the Holocaust in Nazi Germany before she ever even knew about the Black Panther Party. And she stays in walking distance from Ground Zero. I'm talking about 2337 West Monroe / Chairman Fred Hampton Way. We have to be upfront about this. We have to, you know what I'm saying, up the ante. You know what I'm saying? This is, you know, why, and, and all this sidetracking is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a contradiction. Most people can tell you more about Baliensko than they can about little Bobby Hutton. They can tell you more about Gucci than they can about Field Marshal George Jackson. And it's not by happenstance. It's by design. It's by design. You know, we can try to, you know, grab the narrative and what they say, let me tell my truth and all that. We're going to tell the truth. Let's be upfront about this here. It's, you know, we have to move, as Chairman Fred would say, we have to move fast and we have to move organized. We have to be able to acknowledge that people's political pores are open at a certain time. People get involved in struggle, become quote-unquote conscious one of three ways: inspiration, aspiration, or desperation. Our communities are destabilized, they're damaged. I just seen some comments, someone put up, some young lady put in a comment, she don't like black men. And this is some common contradiction, you know what I'm saying? That this system, strategically, you know what I'm saying, the disdain, the hatred, you know what I'm saying, the self-hatred, all this, you know what I'm saying? And people say, well, what about, you know, this happened? I told about a 10-year-old child just shot his mother in the face. Your definitions of beauty, what you relate to, you know what I'm saying? The deal, we have to create a climate where it's common discussion. There was a certain period in Venezuela where people walk down the street, they would have about the Constitution. And I don't know, you remember the case Elian Gonzalez in Cuba. How old are you, brother? How old are you? Michael? 23. Do you remember, you probably don't remember this, was in Cuba, Elian Gonzalez. And there was a big debate about, you know, what part of the war does he get called in, Cuba, America. His his mother had died in the war, or they were trying to get to America. But they couldn't believe how intelligent he was, you know what I'm saying? And it was brought out how the importance of how Cuba saw education. You know what I'm saying? Healthcare. and the school system was not detached from the politics of the country. You know, the images that they saw. Back to talking to sister earlier about the school teacher. A lot of times we see these entities as different. It has to be in our music and like you said, first of all, like you said, the feeling that you get just even when you get pulled over by the police, no doubt about it. It's a feeling, you know what I'm saying, because you don't know if you're gonna pull off, you know, or what's gonna happen to you. But again, the set of climate, we heighten the contradictions, and you know what I'm saying, and it's, you know, ain't no overnight, you know, changes, but just even, you know, when we heighten the it's like turning the lights on, you know what I'm saying, and you'll be surprised when you heighten up, just acknowledge these contradictions. A lot of times we take it as normal, or this is how it's supposed to go, but just even acknowledging it, even the fear factor. Look, I tell people, like, even the George Floyd, you seen the George Floyd footage? Michael, you seen the George Floyd footage?
Yes, I have.
You saw that? Tell me.
Yes, I have.
Tell me some of the things that stood out. Tell me some of the things that stood out with you with that George Floyd footage.
There was multiple police officers holding one man down, even though he was saying he needs medical attention. Which it reminds me of a case that happened about 2 weeks ago, where there was 5 cops that ended up paralyzing a black man. I don't know if you heard about that. This was over in Connecticut.
I did. I vaguely heard about it. I vaguely heard about it. So
In the back of the truck, like chained up, and he was put in the back of the van chain, and then the driver was driving recklessly fast and everything, turning everything, and he ended up falling. He hit the gate rail, and he ended up breaking his neck. And when the officer was like, "Oh, stand up," he said, "Oh, I can't move anything. I think I broke my neck." And then there's even a film of like 4 officers just grabbing him by like his arms and legs and moving him, and he never got medical attention. Even though he was literally saying, "I think my neck is broke. My neck is broken," and he ends up paralyzed.
yes, you know, a lot of times we simply go to the like you watch the news, or like just make a joke about people who watch, you know, like who read the newspapers. They would say we go, you know, like a lot of times they go straight to the sports section. You heard that before? Michael?
Not really. I don't really follow sports. I don't follow sports much.
No. I'm not talking about you as an individual. See, we talking about in general. In general, it's in general. They talk about it in general. A lot of times people just go straight to the sports sections. They go to, you know, I'm gonna use that as an example. They just go to the end, to go, you know, cut straight to the chase. You know what I'm saying? It's like some people, like, you know, man, you know, like don't want to go to the different dynamics of it. I'm saying to say, let's look at the George Floyd footage, not just in the reaction, not just to the point about how many police held him down. Let's go deeper than that. You with me? You with me?
Yeah.
Let's huh?
I'm with you.
Okay, we're gonna do what we call critical analysis. We're gonna look at we're gonna break down, we're gonna look at, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to going, you know what I'm saying, like as opposed, like, you know what I'm saying, a baby, it's 9 months for a baby. We're gonna go through the embryo, the fetus, all the different, the impact, you know what I'm saying, what what the mother eats, how it impacts, you know what I'm saying, to get, like, they just did a study recently, and they was talking about the rats, the fat in the rats' diet, the fat the rats eat, how it can produce smarter offspring, smarter rats. This is rats. They say the food it eats impacts the baby's brain. These are scientists. The food it eats impacts what type of rats, you know what I'm saying, the amount of fat it gets. So, you know what I'm saying, they did, so we're gonna go until we see the end result, like, damn, how these rats be coming up out these holes, and the history of it. Look at the initial contact when the police folks walk up on the car on George Floyd. Look at the response of the passenger in the car. You remember? You remember that part?
Yeah.
Did you see the fear? You see the fear?
Yes.
The passenger. Now, if there's one person you can say, well, okay, maybe that's how it is. That, maybe that person, he had a bad day, or he just scared of the police. Did you see the fear with everyone? The lady that was on the other side. Did you see the response with George? Did you see the George for the response to the police? Did you catch it?
Yeah, it's insane. Even the fear in their eyes when he's being kneeled down on his neck.
Before we talking about prior to them kneeling on his neck, when he first walked up to before any physical like a relationship. You say, man, wait a minute, man. What made you and this? You say, oh no, we got together. We had some physical relation. No, before that, we just talked the process. Talking about going out to dinner. We just said, no, this person liked me. I knew I liked this person before we got to that. Before we got to the bedroom. Before I'm talking about before we get to the stage of them putting their knee on his neck. I'm talking about before that. The initial contact of before any physical contact. Before that, walking up to the car. You with me? The fear. Now, this is you okay? Now, this is an entity that supposes most police doors say serve and protect. What grown? These are adults we talking about. Why is it that? What causes this? What you say? What history of what quote unquote what kind of quote unquote relationship that this is the common response when you see the police, like you're saying, what? So as a minister UEP Newton, they refer to as the occupying army. You with me?
Yeah.
We have to heighten that contradiction. We cannot afford to look at it subjectively, like you said. Well, how I feel as a person. This is whether even if people say they don't fear it. Look at the people's reactions. You know what I'm saying? You can tell when you walk in the room how people feel it. This is a common. We have to, and it's embarrassing. It's humbling, but we have to heighten that contradiction. You with me? We cannot let no one devalue it to, well, man, maybe because what did you have? What happened in your cell? Did you have drugs? So no, why is it before we have to do critical analysis. You know what I'm saying? We have to ask ourselves, when I hear about a crime in Chicago, what's in my mind that make me think it's a black man done it? I don't even think about the cartel. People can't even imagine that. Automatically, we have to start doing critical analysis. What's my definitions of beauty? What's when I smell certain things? What triggers that? What experiences or lack of experiences do we have that impacts our thought before we even come into contact? What made me relate? What made me attract to this person? You know what I'm saying? What music? What was our at? You know what I'm saying? Critical analysis. To see who got something in common. Man, you feel that way? No, man. No. Start with our community. Then we can start forming alliances. And when we heighten it, in many cases, we can check it. We say, wait a minute. How was that so common within certain communities? How was that certain people, when you talk to the police, what makes them feel comfortable to say, oh, they must be coming to get the cat out the trees? In certain communities, as soon as you hear it, what makes that response you saw prior to them putting their knee on his neck? That's what we have to do. Heighten the contradictions. Stick with me, Michael, for a minute. Hold on. I know we got some callers supposed to be calling in. I know 504 Louisiana supposed to be calling in also. Let me any more calls in queue? Stick with me. Better yet, don't stick with me, Michael. Cub with us. That's what we say. Cub with us. So, comrade, we got any more calls in queue? Looking for a 504 Louisiana call?
We got Comrade
What? I just knew it was going to be a problem him getting through, but I'm going to roll with this. Welcome to Freedom All Radio. Welcome to Freedom All Radio, comrade. How you feel? Yes, sir. Welcome to Freedom All Radio. Freedom All. Show you right. Okay, we gonna get straight to it. This is Comrade Chewy Clark, y'all. Chewy, they had known before I come into contact with this brother, this comrade. They used to call him Panther Al. He was not in the Black Panther Party. He learned about the Black Panther Party through the papers, and he watched the study, the illustrations of it. You know. Later on in life, he was in the infamous Angola. Michael, I want you to make sure. I want you to Google some of this stuff I'm telling you, man. Angola prison, penitentiary, Angola. This was large. This is to this day. To this day, one of the largest plantations in this country. It was, you know what I'm saying. This is named that because a lot of people was kidnapped from homeland Africa and certain parts of Angola. They put them there. And you heard about I want you to type in the case of Angola 3. This brother here, this comrade here, did 18 years in there. Horrid conditions. I'm talking about to this day. Horrid conditions. When we drafted this brother, the Black Panther Party cuz, man, I mean, everything from the disrespect in the stores in New Orleans down to the white bouncer and Razoo Club choking his brother to death, down to Hurricane America. We've seen places like the French Quarter were treated with respect. This brother has been on the ground. You know what I'm saying? I mean, on the ground. Anybody that goes to New Orleans for tourists, whatever the case may be, make sure you touch down with our comrade. This is Chewy Clark, Chui, Albert Chewy Clark. In particular, in particular, this comrade has a long history of, getting out there serving the people. And I want to make sure, I'm gonna throw this out there to y'all. He's in the battle now. He's a humble comrade. He's a humble comrade. You know what I'm saying? He's a proud comrade too. But the deal is, it's a lot of stuff he's going through with his house. You know what I'm saying? See, Hurricane America, a lot of y'all call it Hurricane Katrina. You know, our thing is Katrina ain't killed nobody. We talk about, we exposed about the whole thing about the levees being blown out, blown up, and even to this day, the disproportionate resources that were allocated to the white communities in the French Quarter, so on and so forth, even down to the trailers that they allocated to the black community. It was exposed. The part where the baby's supposed to be at had formaldehyde. Like you were talking about some gas chambers. I'm talking about like real deal. This was exposed. He has been non-religion, y'all, and that's the picture on that's his house. He been there, and you know what I'm saying. They threatened to take it. You know what I'm saying. And we're gonna put the cash app out there for him. We need some support for this comrade. You know what I'm saying. He ain't gonna plead this case. We're gonna put it out there. You know what I'm saying. Again, he been putting paws down. And as we go to New Orleans, I know a lot of times we go for the food and the music and the party, but I want to make sure we understand the Cubs are there. On the consistent basis working, and I'm gonna give his contact. You know what I'm saying. We're gonna organize an event for him down there because I'm telling you, I can't count how many times. You know, since I touched down, when I first come home at the concentration camps, open arms, you know what I'm saying, no resources, comrade, that made it happen. Comrade Chewy Clark, man, welcome to Free 'em All Radio, comrade. Free 'em all. Free 'em all. Yeah.
First of all, give my regards to Mother, Carol's mother, Lena Ridge, and the whole BPPC family, you know?
So you're right.
I definitely understand Stephen said briefly. I had a dimension of $6 in the city stolen it on the Tennessee election, you know? It was legally on the city, you know?
Let me interject one time because they say my phone, my Instagram battery getting low. I ain't got my phone charged with me right here. But let me say this real. Let me get that cash app out here real quick. What's the cash? What is it? The CHUI. What's the cash app? Cash App is it okay? It's Cash App $ CHUICLARK. Cash App $CHUICLARK. Correct? We in the battle to say Comrade Chewy Clark's his home, the base there for the Cubs there, home front. Yep, so you're right. Yep. Comrade, check and make sure that that's legit. That's it. That we said it right. Do that for me. Go ahead, Comrade. Check that cash and make sure we get the right. We spelled it right. Somebody pull up and check it. Make sure it exists.
And by the time I got out of the hospital, when I was ready to walk in the refrigerator, I went down to the civil hall in New Orleans, trying to redeem the property. The guy who was a great, and the one and my son too late, and then if I want to say that someone about the thing that I to do this. I told him that and asked him, when I was waiting, he told me that the decision was told him that I had to call him, and the redemption period had told that it was just perfect. I just wanted to get a lawyer.
Correct.
So what you tell him, I need to get a lawyer. He told me no. And then I know he was a lawyer, So, I just wanted to get a lawyer, so I want to keep the spirit. I know what's happening here in New Orleans, in America. That's the enemy was, they were petrified, And so, I went about it, and started the issue of the harassment with it now.
You mentioned okay. So you mentioned the gentrification, or we call it land grab down in New Orleans. So what's the I know at one time you couldn't know Albert Clark. Yep, that's it. Albert Clark. That's it. What's the stat like? What's the population like now? Is a lot of people still down there? What's the present status of New Orleans down there? I know what's happening to you is reflective of what's happening to our people down in New Orleans in particular. You know what I'm saying? So what are we still a majority population or what?
Yeah, we still the majority. White folks buying up the land of property and taking the land from the switches out.
A lot of money.
That's the story of the matter. But right now, the lawyer that I hired, he's getting excited with that.
What's about okay? I know you got some background noise there too, man. But I'm like even the event like the second line, is that still going on down there? Like the weekly events with the second line, which is a hood version of Mardi Gras. Like is that still occurring down there?
Yeah. Second line practically every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Yeah, every Sunday they usually do a second line.
What's the school system is going every Sunday? What's the school? Okay, we talking about the school country. Like Sister calling earlier about the shootings in St. Louis schools, and we should, saying, what's the status of the schools down there? Like, are the children back in school? Are they on Zoom? What's happening with the school system down there? All the school is what? You say all the schools is what? You see, all has public school. I guess it's like background noise going on too, comrade. Yeah, Albert Clark. That's correct.
My house, I'm quiet, man. I've been sitting here listening all the while, man.
Yeah.
That's because you turn it down a little bit. Back now.
Yeah. Okay, we live. Okay.
The background, that's the TV playing. Can you turn it down in the background a little bit? Just a little bit, please, for a few more minutes.
Okay, we go. Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear you. So we going. So bottom line is we need to say, assist our comrade down there, y'all. Bottom again, Chewy Clark, man, get a long history putting the work in. Give me a Chewy Clark, repost that Cash App. You know what I'm saying? The BPPC down there, Black Panther Party Club down in New Orleans, Louisiana, needs support. Hold on for 1 minute. Sister Comrade, can you hold it? The background, can you mute that? Any more callers in queue? How many calls got to bring in?
Oh, Brother Chairman.
Fremont, Comrade.
Yeah, about 4 more. We got Brother Gary Boone and YSL, Fremont.
So you're right. Welcome to Freedom Radio, brother. I'm glad you've been on me. Welcome to Freedom Radio first.
Hey, how you doing, good brother?
I'm well. Let me start off with this, man. Forgive us for a lot of people. I've been getting back to a lot of people, man, but we've been going through it up here. Wednesday, I had a brother yesterday I was supposed to interview with. I don't know if he listened in, and I had to do it last minute. We've been going through it up here, and all I know in back of my mind is Wednesday, 6:30 to 8:30. I can get some conversation in, updates.
I know it.
So don't charge it to the heart. Don't charge it to the heart.
Issue at all, man. So at any rate, man, heads up, eyes open, and fist clenched.
Yes, sir.
A revolutionary.
So you're right.
From Seattle, Washington.
Right on.
My business partner and I, with the Drop Brothers, we've been hard on the case with regard to freeing the brothers of YSL. We had a major break in the case today, and I'll tell your listeners about it. And so, and then I'll bring on one of the members of the family to give a family update report. So, at any rate, we've been the Drop Brothers. We put together the first NFT petition, and
Y'all bear with us. I'm gonna bring y'all back. I'm gonna say this and bring y'all right back to Instagram. Battery getting low. Come right back in.
You are now in the host queue.
Legislatures trying to do everything that they can to hold it up, but we're hot on the case with regard to the petition. And so, at any rate, we're at the final juncture of the petition in terms of signing a total of 75,000 signatures. We're at 65,000. And so, at any rate, the original petition was brought by the CEO of YSL's label, Brother Kevin Lyles. And so, at any rate, they're stuck at about 65,000, and the NFT will carry through the remaining 10,000. So, at any rate, we go live tomorrow in terms of what's called the launch or the drop tomorrow. So those that want an NFT and then want to sign the petition, they can do so tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. So now the update that everybody has been waiting for. So at any rate, one of the top members of YSL was released today. And so at any rate, he was released from Fulton County Jail, and he's Gunner. His proper name is Sergio. One moment. One moment, listeners.
Mm-hmm.
It's Sergio's proper name.
I just read it myself. I can't just.
Bear with me.
No problem. No problem.
So at any rate, Gunner's. So we're excited about that, and so now it's to bring the rest of the YSL members home. Looking forward to Young Thug coming home, and all of the rest of the members being exonerated, and so that's where we are. We have a few more hearings that are coming up that Big Jeff, the father of Young Thug, the last time that we were on the program,
Yes, indeed.
was sharing with us. So there's a hearing date on the 15th, I think the 21st and the 26th, and so hopefully we can get them home even before those hearing dates. And so at any rate, that's where we are. I have a member of YSL, Fireboy, standing by to give a family report. But if there are any questions that the chairman has, I can address those.
Right on. My phone had dropped in the beginning. I called back in. If you just can reiterate some that some I know I missed, but just in case anyone else missed. You said something about a launch date tomorrow, and if you can, because not many people, again, I'm sure like me, are not really familiar with the different dynamics about the NFTs and all that. How do they check into that? In layman's terms, what does that mean again? But the launch date tomorrow,
Yeah.
and how do they proceed with it?
The launch date, or yes, so the NFT launch date, or what we call the drop. And so this is new technology that we're using as a political tool to free YSL. And so it is the very first NFT that carries a petition. And so the petition we've shared, and then you can get more details at freetheslimes with an S.com. freetheslimes.com. And so they can get more information there. The launch time, specific launch time, is at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so at that particular time, your listeners can purchase a NFT. The proceeds support the family of Young Thug and other YSL member families. Their bank accounts and things like that have been frozen. The celebrity bank accounts have been frozen, which means that the families are left in the lurch. And so we've done everything that we can do to support their families and stand tall. And so at any rate, and then also the opportunity to sign a petition to pass what's called the RAP Act in the state of Georgia. And so the RAP Act literally says that lyrics cannot be used to incriminate artists, and so that they're a form of creativity. And so we've done our best to make that known to the general public around the world, and then give them a status report of what's going on with the members and their families. And so, are there any other questions that I can entertain? And then I'd like to bring on a member of the family to give the family report.
Okay, right on. We appreciate that update. I just want to read everyone. Again, y'all, we let Latin American Freedom on radio. We cross the state lines. We go from St. Louis to New Orleans, Louisiana, President back in Atlanta, Georgia. As we get some updates in regards to brothers. Greg, he's trying to get the last name, but many of y'all probably more familiarized with him as Gunner. So he's getting some updated release on the YSL case and the exchange of information. Different parts of the country. Also, let me throw this in there. On GP, I got y'all attention. I think Dr. Matula Shakur said they're touching down soon. They got some different welcome home events going on for him. Stay abreast of that. Something else I wanted to say too. Mumia Abu Jamal, a powerful court date coming from long-held political prisoner Mumia Abu Jamal. So bring Mumia home. Type that in also. Okay, my brother, bring it out. You say who we got here? Who we got on deck?
Let's see. Before I bring on Brother Fireboy YSL, I wanted to also talk a bit about the importance of what you were talking about earlier on the program. Sometimes our celebrities or rappers and things like that, they do come in, our athletes, they do come during to the revolution during times of desperation, right? Mm-hmm. They do. And I'm the, and so as I recall, if you take the time period of Jimi Hendrix, mm-hmm. So at any rate, Jimi Hendrix, many of our celebrities and during that day, right, they had the minds of the people, right? Mm-hmm. They had the influence of the minds of the people, and the government knew it. And so, at any rate, they used by any means necessary to be able to get at Jimmy. Jimmy was very accessible, right? Mm-hmm. So him and many of those celebrities of that day were very, very accessible. Our young people now that are celebrities, they're not as accessible. They have security around them. They have way more money than any of those celebrities did back in those days. And so it's harder to get to them. But how do you get to them? You use something called the RICO Act, right? Mm-hmm. You tie it to opportunities of where they have no bail, of where they can't use their influence and their money to be able to use it for to be able to get out of jail and then to be able to fight their cases. No, they have to fight their cases inside the jail. And so, at any rate, these are the things that we need to be guarded against, because we understand that our athletes and our entertainers are among the first line of economic defense for our people. And so, at any rate, it is a opportunity to try to take that out, by the powers that be. We understand that. And so we're seeing that play out in real time in this circumstance and situation, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different elements that are going on that this case has exposed. And so all we want to do is be able to bring them home. And so one of the pleas of the family, Big Jeff articulated that excellent on the last program that we were on. But the deliverance of the family was that they wanted to free Gunner and free Young Thug and the other members of the YSL family by Christmas. And the only thing that he wanted for Christmas, he and the family wanted for Christmas, was that the fans around the world to sign the petition and to bring these brothers home by Christmas, so that if they had any fighting to do, they dropped the charges on Gunner. Now, if they do the same thing with regard to the other YSL members, then we will have been successful in our stand and in our fight. And so, at any rate, and we will have brought them home by Christmas. And so, at any rate, that's what's going on, man. And we really have to make sure that we keep an eye on our young entertainers, because, like I said, they're wealthy, and so the powers that be, they're attacking them. They're under attack. And so at any rate, I definitely wanted to bring that to light and mention that and offer that up on the program for your listeners to consider that.
Yes, indeed. And I want to add with that, tag team with you on something too. That again, it was in the '60s, like it was a climate where there was like any was a connection. You know what I'm saying, to the community. Like it was like like a lot of people seen the end results. Like for example, people seen the end results. For example, Nina Simone. I knew the background, the underlying stuff that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know some people might get offended with this. You know, I mean, she was not accessible when she came to Chicago. There were people surrounding her. You know what I'm saying? And the Panther Party in particular. You know what I'm saying? In fact, it was members of it was rank and file members. You know what I'm saying? The Finance Committee, Deborah Johnson and others. You know what I'm saying? They approached her, and you know what I'm saying? The conditions were so intense that the people say, no, this was going on in our community and has to be addressed. And comedian Nipsey Russell, comedian Nipsey Russell talks about how it was a sister that approached him. He kind of embellished the story, though. He said she had these bandolier bullets around her chest, and she 7.5 months pregnant, and she was talking about donating to the, to the Panther Party. He said, I ain't giving nobody no money for no guns, but he came with an envelope of money up under the door for the free breakfast program. Richard Pryor talked about when he met Chairman Fred. It was common. It was, and the conditions were so intense that you seen, and they had an example. Look at it. They seen how Bob Hope supported their troops. So the venues such as this, Freedom on Radio, we want their connection with the schools, the schools, to the cats in the Cook County Jail, who, you know what I'm saying, the sisters in Logan who ain't got no soap, Stavia no soap, to find commonality, common points. And that's you know what I'm saying, what's going, you know what I'm saying, right now, like you said, entertainment, they got a certain, amount of resource, and resource, a lot of times also, I'm going to say this too, it's a lot of times, it's a disconnect, and this is done intentionally. That, you know what I'm saying? Like I know person, like certain, entertainers, they really came to fathom when we. You know what I'm saying? I remember I asked one entertainer, known entertainer, for some. We need some. I mean, and it sticks in my mind and my heart. It was a pressing event coming up, and we literally needed about $300 for some flyers. I never forget this, man. And I remember reaching out to him, and she. And they really couldn't grasp it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they couldn't believe it. I was trying to, and it was humbling to say that. And that's like, and to set that, like, a war chest, and also that, like even the background with, even with Kanye West, when we met with him 8 hours before he said when the statement about George Bush not liking black people, and the impact of that, and also the people shouldn't put the onus of responsibility on the entertainers. You know what I'm saying? Because the deal is that as Che Guevara said, the role of propagandists could be as important as that of the guerrilla, but to set an atmosphere and also to have their back when they come under attack. That's important also. You know what I'm saying? But also it got to be a reciprocal relationship, and it got to be up there, and they have to go past the ones who are to go past to go past, to really put, like DMX, when he would go different tours, he would literally, you know what I'm saying, come in town before the tours and put his ear to the ground, you know what I'm saying, who's out here, you know what I'm saying? Right. And even, I mean, when I first met Waka Flocka, he said, wait a minute, as soon as he seen me, he said, hold on, I heard you'll be coming. And he had a person named, a brother named Big D, I never forget it. He said, hold on, here you go. And Big D said, yeah, man, he said, I was locked up with Sunday out at Coley, he said, man, we know who you is, how you know what I'm saying, come on through, blah, blah. And it's like a person, I know it can be difficult, you know what I'm saying, like in Rome, they had a special gallery they would send entertainers through, like in Rome, and they would detach them from the people, keep them away from the community, you know what I'm saying? In that movie, Dreamgirls, right. Dreamgirls, that scene was like, that with Jennifer, Lewis. Rose, that's actually the scene when they came out the studio and uprisings was happening, Dr. King got assassinated, and she looking like, man, what's going on? I done seen a lot of kids, they really sincerely be so detached, and that's, you know what I'm saying, and it's not on them personally, but it's a strategic detachment from the community. But the deal is, We have Jennifer Hudson. My fault. Jennifer Hudson. That Chicago. She was playing that. She was playing that. The sister in the movie, and we have to heighten it. It's a common discussion. Like, man, on a movie set, the studios, what's the artists can reflect what's going down in the communities, you know what I'm saying? And that's the history of art, you know what I'm saying? It should be reflective of what's going on in the community, and we have to really struggle and combat liberalism, because I take not that we get caught with the way we don't want to say this and that. We want to paint a pretty a pretty picture, but we have to reflect the times, and the people can have that connection. And you know what I'm saying, with the artists, with the entertainers, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying. So it's not you know what I'm saying, it's not detached. It should be like this is what's happening right now. That we have, you know what I'm saying. Okay, all the 77-year-old woman, in our school system. I spoke in was it Spelman? I spoke in Atlanta at Morehouse. Students had never heard of A. Brown, Imam Jalal Amin. You know what I'm saying? And we have to up the ante. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We have to up the ante. That, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I tell people, say even in it's on the community has to hold people accountable to them. They can't. The system just can't constantly give those people who are detached. That it's like a relationship. In certain under heated conditions like this here, we gotta seize the time. I don't want to get too long-winded, because I don't know that they might cut us off on the show in a minute.
Many layers. I think that it's something that we can continue to dialogue about, but it's really important to see the generational differences. And so the difference that I wanted to make sure that I pointed out was that, you take a Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
He was at his zenith and recognized all around the world.
Yeah.
But he was accessible. You would be able to see Jimmy in Seattle. You'd be able to see Jimmy in New York walking down the street. Or out in L.A., you know what I'm saying? And so, at any rate, the government, they use, there's many, I'll put it that way, and I'm among that thought, that the government used that as an opportunity to be able to get to him. And so, at any rate, that thought is out there.
Yeah.
And so, this generation of celebrities, they're not so accessible. You know what I mean? They have security. They have wealth. So they use that as a buffer. And then, like I said, the government has come up with this new opportunity to be able to get at them. You see what I'm saying? RICO Act and no bail. You know what I mean? Setting no bail, those kind of things. So we'll continue to dialogue about those kinds of tactics to be able to get at our first line of defense as it relates to economic development. Right? Our young people are astute when it comes to developing things in their communities, right? Developing and tying in to other programs and projects around the country, and using their wealth in order to be a strengthening agent for those in the community. And so we're getting there. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. But when things threaten that, we have to make sure that we come with all of our firepower. And so we're using this NFT as a political weapon for the first time ever, in order to be able to support a circumstance and a situation that shouldn't have been in the first place. So at any rate, we got a major win today with regard to getting Gunner exonerated and getting him out. And so, now we're on to Young Thug and the rest of the YSL members. And so at any rate, I have a member of the family. This is YSL. This is Fireboy YSL. And so, Fireboy, if you could give a family report. I know it's late, getting late there on the East Coast, but if you could, pass on to the listeners. You're on with the Black Panther Cubs and the Black Panther Party Cubs and Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and his listeners. And so, at any rate, it's called 3MR Radio. And so, if you could address the listeners and let them know from the family perspective, the spirit of the family, especially with regard to the release of Gunner today. How are you feeling, and how's the family doing?
Right on. Welcome to Freedom on Radio, brother.
You there?
Fireboy is there?
Brother, you there? Hold on for 1 second.
All right.
Fireboy, you there? I just announced you, so go ahead and give the family report of how you're doing since Gunner's release, and how are the other members of the family. Are you there?
Yeah.
Are you there? I have you on the open on the air. Are you there?
Is he on your line, or is he called? Is he calling in? Is the number we should look for? Or you clicked him in?
Nah, he was calling in.
Okay.
He was calling in on my line.
Okay.
I think we're having a bad connection.
Okay.
But at any rate, the family's in good spirits. I thought I was going to be able to bring it live, but at any rate, the family's in good spirits, very excited.
Right on. Right on.
So these gentlemen have been incarcerated since May without any bail, and then tried to connect them with the RICO Act, and then tried to use lyrics to further and the way their creativity use their words against them, and then pin the RICO Act on them further. So at any rate, we've got one exoneration, and we'll continue forward with regard to others. And so, that's where we are. Like I said to you listeners, freetheslimesNFT.com will give you more details about what's going on. Those that are interested in purchasing an NFT and then using the opportunity to sign a petition, they can do that there. But like I said, we'll continue to be on the case. We'll certainly join the call once again to give you further updates. Hope to bring Big Jeff, that's the father of Young Thug, on next time he was able to give a family report. So at any rate, Brother Chairman, one other thing. We wanted to get the attention of the minister, and so at any rate, if any of your listeners have a direct contact to the minister with the nation, please have someone reach out to me via email at Gary, Gary, at the Drop Brothers, THEDROPBrothers.com, at thedropbrothers.com, so that we can talk to him about the case, and then get his opinion on the case, and then see whether or not we can go live with something publicly. So at any rate, anything that we can do to help exonerate these young brothers and get through this, because we need to think through this thing strategically. Brother Chairman, we will certainly continue to speak to you. But we're going to see these kinds of attempts. We're going to see these kinds of situations attack, our primary economic base, And so at any rate, we have to understand it, relate to it, connect it generationally, you know what I mean? And then make sure that we're insulated and protected.
If you can, your email address one more time, brother. Hello?
You need the email one more time?
Your email address one more time.
What do you need from me?
Your email. Your email.
For me.
Your email?
Is Gary, G-A-R. Yeah, my email is Gary, Gary, at thedropbrothers.com. THEDROPBrothers.com.
We live in the record on Freedom on Radio, y'all. They give me the heads up out here, man. We We done made a lot of trips. I know we got some more calls in queue. Y'all be on deck with us again, live and direct next Wednesday, same time, same station, Freedom All Radio. Heads up, eyes on the fist, clench y'all the spirit of making history, taking history, and taping history, y'all. Again, be on deck next Wednesday. Those calls that was in queue, man. Follow up with us next week, man. We gonna travel New Orleans, St. Louis, Atlanta, Georgia. We're moving around, man. In the spirit of internationalism, man. What's the call? Freedom All. So, comrade, take us on out. Freedom All. Thank you, brother. Right on. Okay.
God is the plan, and the Bible unfolds as one